Oh my God.
Programmet presenteras av Betsafe.com.
Welcome to Studio MMA and MMA Nuts, and we're here in Las Vegas for UFC 146, which is mainly heavyweights. But we've got Mike Brown in the house, and you're not a heavyweight. You are cutting a little bit more weight than most.
Yeah, that's right. I think I'm the lone featherweight fight on the card, me and Pineda. So we're gonna look like little hobbits out there compared to these big dudes.
Is that why you brought Brad with you to make you guys feel at least about the same height?
Yeah, I have 2 inches on Brad, so I at least appear to be average height when he's around.
Check the UFC game. Play the UFC game and see who's taller. I'm taller in the game. That's happened.
That's what matters, right?
Total glitch in the matrix there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
Have you made an official complaint about that?
Yes, actually, I have. It hasn't been corrected, but there's I think papers have to be formed, and it's a process. It's got to go through.
Do you think that Brad playing as much computer games as he does gets him a little bit of a hookup with connections in with the game makers, perhaps? Because you said he does play a lot of computer games, correct?
That's correct.
Is that Brad?
No. I don't play that many. I only play like 8 hours a day.
That's it?
Yeah.
He literally averages, I'm not exaggerating, probably 6 hours a day.
Yeah. Safe.
Yes, and not like being like, 6 hours probably. I mean, sometimes he does
Probably more.
8,
Sometimes.
9, sometimes 4. He averages 6.
When I'm training for a fight, I play a lot more because I'm in America and I'm at Brownie's house, and and I'll just play a bit in the morning, train, play afternoon, train, play in the evening. That's what I do. But when I'm back in England, obviously I'm with my girlfriend Sarah, so obviously that's on lockdown a little bit more. But I still try and sneak it in when I can.
Does your girlfriend let you play when you're at home?
Sometimes, yeah, she's quite good. If she's got work to do or she's wanting to watch some like Desperate Housewives or something like that, but like, you just go watch your program, and I go off.
But you don't mind him playing?
I don't care, but I've been to England and I watch him interact with his girl and see him he starts talking his kind of sweet little voice, like, do you mind if I do a couple little dailies, talks like a little girl.
I have to talk like that sometimes.
And I'm like, what are you talking like that for?
Oh, you want to play computer games?
He talks like that to me anyway.
In a sweet little voice. Brad, last time we saw you, we had a great view then as well in Sweden over the Globe Arena where you fought Fight of the Night, April 14th. Now we've got a pretty decent view as well over Las Vegas. You were in our studio in Sweden, and then just as now, we had to try to get you to keep the microphone just on your chin.
Yeah,
perfect.
sorry.
Great, nice. And Fight of the Night, Dana White said you made enough money to buy a car, Brad. Go buy a car. Have you bought a car since?
No, I don't want a car. I want to get a house. You don't live in your car. Well, some people do, I guess. But I don't need a car as much as I'd like my own house. Yeah.
Have you bought a house yet?
No, not yet. I need a bit more money, so I have to get some more fights.
Couple more fights.
I think first would be a driver's license, and then a car would come after that. There's usually.
I might get a moped.
But you do have the newest games. We had you talking back and forth with our camera guy here regarding what game. What's the game you're playing?
Yeah, just the new Blizzard game, Diablo 3, got launched the other day, and I've been on it pretty hardcore.
And did we establish who's the better player, you or Matt?
We haven't really established that yet, but my character's a higher level, probably because I got less of a life than he has, so I could play more games.
You guys travel. You guys are tight. You mentioned you live with Mike. Mike, you were with Brad in Sweden, and the whole ATT. You had 4 guys, I think, on the Sweden card, right? Is it just the 2 of you, or all of you guys as tight? It's a very tight knitted team, would you say?
Yeah, it's tight knitted, but with Brad and I, we're also the same weight, so we train a lot. And when he stays in America, he also stays at my house, so we're also roommates as well. I wouldn't consider us friends, but we do have to spend a lot of time together.
Little people know that actually how I met Mike. It was actually on a dating website. I actually, he started contacting me and asking me to come stay at his house, and then that's how I got into cage fighting. I had to fend him off, you see.
Some truth to that, Mike?
There's zero truth to that.
There's silence. Silence. It means it says everything.
And last time when you were on the spotlight, so to speak, in Sweden, you were doing the interview. You didn't want to come up and sit with him in the studio, whereas
Because you didn't invite him, I don't think. You had me and Jason.
Yeah, you had you. Yeah, we
You-
wanted
you
Mike
said-
up
you
there.
had said
No, I
to me
wasn't
off camera.
invited.
Yeah, you
Really?
said to me off camera, Jason's better looking than Mike.
Yeah,
and that's why you
I
wanted
wasn't
him back.
invited to.
No, I said let's get Mike up. Then you said no comments, no interviews. No.
No. You said that he wasn't good looking enough to be on camera.
Jason also trained with you guys out there. It was a good night, except from Thiago Alves and Alessio as well. So Cara had a tough night there against Brian Stan. But you guys do your own kind of video blog for the whole team, and we see you guys training together. You cut weight together. Do you spend as much time when you're out in Florida together as well, all of you, or?
Like I say, I think every camp, like especially Michael talked to me, we have a very good bond when we come to training. But then also, you're outside of training. Some of us are good friends as well, like me, Mike, Sir One, and Jason, and we were actually, and a few other guys. We're all good friends. But other people, you have your own little sections as well. But when we're in the gym, we're all one big family. But then in the evening, we don't always spend it all the time with each other. Alessio does his own thing with other people and all that sort of stuff.
Is it because he's heavier? Is it like your hand? Because you said Sir One as well.
Maybe and maybe not. Maybe we do create more of a bond with people our own weight class because we train with them every day.
Yeah,
I ain't going to train with Alessio because he's bigger than me. So even though we're friendly and all that sort of stuff, but, obviously, I think you do find friendships form a lot more with training partners who are training partners you train with, You think of like all the people at Uriah's camp, they're all round about the same size and they have a good bond as well. And I think like the same with me, Brownie, Sir One, and people like that. Jason, we're all round about the same size. So
Talking about Uriah, who's been the coach for the Ultimate Fighter, you beat him, and you were the WEC champion, and come into the UFC. 11 years as a pro. This is not your first fight. Does it get easier every time, or is it the same?
No, it doesn't get any easier. It's the same, the same anxiety, same training regimen every time. It's not much changes. You get some tricks here and there. Cutting weight's a little easier. I've got that figured out a little better, but it's sometimes it's like a fresh fight every time. Eve Edwards, I used to talk a lot about this with him because he's got a lot of experience, you know. He's the guy I ask a lot of stuff to, questions about training and stuff. Man, he's had like 70 fights. And he's the same nerve, same everything, still, every fight, and there's not many fighters out there with more fights than him.
That's true, and Frank Trigg's going to hate me for this, but same with Frank, as many fights as he has, very nervous just before the fight, and
I think everyone gets nervous. Some people handle it differently. It's like I think you just learn to. I've been here before. I've felt like this before. You just learn to handle your nerves better.
Who would you say is out of the whole team is the calmest? A to T, you go in there like, I can't believe this guy's about to fight.
For me, is J.P. Reese.
It was pretty dumb when I cornered him.
He's young. He's young and only had a couple fights. He hasn't even. He fought in Bellator, a couple small fights, but he is as calm and as happy and joking, and not like some people do that stuff, and you can tell that it's a nervous front.
Jittery almost.
But this kid is cool and relaxed. It's easy to corner him because you don't have to worry about him and try to help him in any way or work as a bit of a psychologist with him because he's totally fine and he's just like goofing. He's like, yeah, let's go get him, and he's seriously joking and I think he fights better because of that.
You find around Brownie and around myself, you do change nearer to a fight. You mentally change. You're focusing on the fight, and you can see the change in your personality. Sorry, you can see the change in your personality.
Right.
But like I say, with JP, I cornered him when he fought in England on Cage Warriors. Yeah, and he's the same all the time. There's no switch.
Because we haven't talked about that, but I know you cornered. But he is.
So you both cornered him at different fights.
Yeah. We never talked about it, but he's cool. He is very he's cool.
Yeah.
Is that almost worryingly like sociopath kind of? Or
Yeah, I don't think
No,
some people can get too relaxed, but
Right.
yeah, I just think it's the same as he was going to go training,
he has a lot of competition experience. He was a good wrestler and wrestled in college. But it's pretty funny. And if you don't know him and you've seen him, you would never guess he's a fighter, too. He actually looks like...
a broker.
Yeah,
Really?
or he's in the yacht club and, plays golf and tennis, He definitely is...
He looks a bit like Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah, blonde hair, comb to the side, polo shirt.
He's got the hot swim.
That's not my type. That's not my type.
Does that make you jealous?
Nah.
That. But polo shirt. Look at this. Look at Brad with his pink. It was a lot of pink. We had Chris Spung from Strikeforce here a few minutes ago before you guys came in, and with the pink shorts. Is that a new thing for fighters? Pink?
Yeah. Why is pink a female color?
We never
Anyone
said
could
that.
wear
What?
Why are you saying that it's female?
But he said that it was
What?
female.
Well,
What are you
I
talking
think
about?
a true man could pull off pink. I pull it off, I think.
Why even defend it?
Why is it even a subject?
I don't know.
Why are you wearing a white t-shirt?
We're coming straight into conversation here. Keep going. So we'll talk about this, how the whole thing about when we had Brad in the studio, and I wanted to defend myself a little bit. We wanted you in there as well, and obviously the chemistry between you guys is almost more than friendship, I'd say. But so you said you didn't want to pose. That's a good word.
Yeah,
Pose.
it's Brad's time.
Brad's time.
No, it's like we just said off camera, like when I'm here in America and I'm coming to Brownie's fight and we're walking down the lobby and all that sort of stuff, and people will recognize him, and they may recognize me as well, but I always stand off because they may not even have a clue who I am because I'm in America and he's fighting UFC and he's fighting. You can't you don't want to go, hey, take a picture of me as well, like get in the photo, because one, it'd be really embarrassing if the person didn't have a clue who you were. Like, who's this dude jumping in So and I think he's the same when he came to my fight in England and Sweden, where obviously people know who he is, but people wanted a picture of me because I was fighting, and then so he didn't want to impose let's get a picture, But so sometimes it feels a bit, a bit weird.
You've been from England, and obviously you were fighting in Sweden, so you were pretty recognized there. Did people recognize you as well?
Yeah, some of the fans do. I mean, I would not walking around the street or anything.
Not in the streets?
But, yeah, not. But on at MMA show, any UFC, yeah, it's gonna happen because they're fight
But-
junkies,
Yeah, but when you were in Sweden, when you were out in the streets, people didn't come up. So you didn't jump into Brad's pictures.
Don't come up to me in the streets. In the streets
Really?
of Sweden, no one who's gonna have.
Oh yeah, in the hotel, fight fans, yeah. But I'm not saying at McDonald's and the dude behind the counter didn't.
Technically, we
recognize me.
were in McDonald's.
I was going to say, so you went to McDonald's when you were in Sweden?
Yes,
That's
I
the
did.
most expensive McDonald's I've ever had.
Yeah.
What is going on in Sweden?
Because at McDonald's, we have something called McFeast. Did you try that? You don't have that in the rest of the world, and it's...
Is that like a
McFeast.
cheaper McDonald's?
No. It's at McDonald's. We have a thing called McFeast, which is with salad. McDonald's. We should get sponsorships for this kind. I shouldn't even be talking about them, but no. They have a McFeast. It's in Sweden in McDonald's. I used to work at McDonald's as well. Hang on. It's the quarter pounder meat with cheese and salad and a special dressing.
You're part of their sales team.
Yeah, some product.
You're still
placement,
working for
but-
them now. You ain't told these guys yet.
Let's talk about Daniel Pineda, your opponent.
Yeah, Daniel Pineda. I had never heard of him actually until they told me who I was fighting, and just because his fights were on the prelims, that's just how it is sometimes.
Right.
And then looked up his record, and his record is good, and watched him fight. And I'm like, man, this kid's tough. So he comes out aggressive, and he throws hard and looks to finish guys. All of his wins are by knockout or submission.
Yeah.
On the same token, all of his losses are too. So he likes a fast-paced fight, and looks like he throws caution to the wind a bit, and it should be a very exciting fight.
So when you have someone like that, you about to face a guy that comes in and almost goes for broke. Do you go in and say, "Hey, Brad, I'm fighting Pineda, and this is his style," and then Brad, you go, "Okay, let me watch a couple of his fights and then try to simulate that," or?
Yeah, we have guys in the gym. First our coaches take a look at the tape or video, and then they'll talk to each sparring partner that you have and say, hey, try to use this more, throw the overhand rights, left high kick, so they try to have your sparring partners throw the same techniques at you that your opponent might be doing. Like this kid's actually has a one win that I know of by spinning back fist. So, you got to make sure guys are throwing that at you sometimes in training. And it's important so that you're ready for when it might happen in the fight.
How's your Daniel Pineda impression, Brad? I should ask
He's
you.
taller than me.
He's taller than
bigger
you?
than me. Yeah,
not according to the
his
UFC
standard's
game.
pretty similar to mine. He's a bit, he's wild. He brawls. He's not like a technical boxer. So I guess that's a bit like me. I like brawling.
Yeah,
as well.
he throws the overhand right. Brad throws the overhand right. But Brad was in Sweden for most of this camp. He was in the U.S. getting ready for his fight, which was 6 weeks ago. So the first half of my camp, he was there, and then now this week here, he's my drilling partner. So I had a lot of other guys that I was working with as well for this one. But
Siran Kakai from Sweden. It's been part of it.
I worked out with him some for this fight as well, but he had a fight coming up of his own. So when that's the case, it's important to do your own thing,
Where's he fighting and when? Do you guys know?
He fought on Zone in Gothenburg.
Oh, yes, he did, and he won.
He won the bantamweight belt at Zone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you got a fight coming up and I got a fight coming up, then you just got to work your own game. You don't try not to mimic somebody else's in that case.
How many guys around your weight are at ATT at Full House usually?
I mean, I don't know. Probably, 15, 20.
Wow.
Not always in there every training session, but every training session there's like 5 or 6.
They're very good spot, but and like sometimes you don't have a guy who's like coming in there a complete MMA. You get some people who are just really good at wrestling or really good jiu-jitsu guys. You do get those as well, and also we get some young kids who are just like Sirwan, like another
Very
guy.
young.
I like a guy called Masad, who are phenomenal athletes, and they don't come from a background. They're just MMA, new breeds, and they're very good.
So if talking about Siran, the best attribute about Siran and the worst attribute with Siran, both of you, since he's not here to be able to defend himself.
Okay. Do you want to do the best?
I want to do worse.
Okay, I did the best then. His best attribute I'd say his commitment and mental focus.
Especially for being so young. Huh?
He's determined. Yeah, he's got the right head to succeed in the sport.
And he's a pig. This is.
Can you go into a little bit more into depth about that?
He eats a lot.
Really?
Yeah, he likes to eat.
So he has an eating problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Brad. Take her away.
Okay, right. 2 things. When he was cutting weight for his fight, and I'm not even joking to you. When he was cutting weight, he was eating more than me during the day, and I'm not cutting weight. And I was like, "You eating again?" He goes, "Yeah, this is a little small meals." I'm like, "You eating more than I have all day, and you're cutting weight. What are you doing?"
And you're fighting the same weight as well.
This is going back when I was cutting weight.
This is a good one.
I was in a cafe, and I was eating I can't remember, I had a little bit of scrambled eggs. I portioned my stuff out quite nicely. I was eating. Then I just turned around and I started talking to Brownie, and then I kind of had this vision at the side of my eye. I turned over and someone's over picking and eating stuff on my plate, and I'm like,
"Why are you cutting weight?"
And I'm like,
"Ooh,
what are you doing, so?" And he goes, "What? I thought you finished." I'm like, "I ain't finished. You're just eating my food." And
that food is so valuable to Brad at that time. It's like gold to him.
Normally I wouldn't even.
And he's like picking at his food,
because he does it all the time. And like even when I was cutting weight, I have like a bag of cashew nuts, just so I could eat every now and again.
Right.
I turn my eye, he'd be like eating my cashew.
That's worse than taking food out of someone in jail.
Yeah, he's got a disease.
But seriously, he's he's real focused, and he's got a great future because he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And he's a very good athlete, and man, he's driven, and he's gonna have a lot of success for sure.
Yeah, like he's got a very good mind to the sport. Got a very wise head on his shoulders,
and he loves it.
Yeah,
he's passionate about it.
He
loves fighting.
I know he's young, but he does look old as well. So maybe that's it.
Nice little.
He's like a 20-year-old inside a 35-man body.
Yeah.
That's a little cut to the stab to the back there, Brad. Beautiful. Best memory in Sweden, except you can't say the fight of the night that you had. Nothing to do with inside of the cage. Best memory from Sweden this time around for you. I know you've been there many times before. Actually, was that your first time in Sweden?
My first time.
My best. Yeah,
I didn't do anything in Sweden. I literally.
You could though. You didn't have a cut. Wait.
I know, but I didn't. I don't.
We don't
go out.
I'm
you're hanging out in the hotel. You're like.
I'm here for him. I'm
yeah,
not here to go have
literally.
my leisure.
Literally, I did nothing. I walked like 2 blocks around the hotel. I'd say that's the most excitement I had. Like.
That's dedication.
We didn't really do any. I literally didn't do anything.
But you were a little bit luckier because you had a lot more guys with you because there were so many of you guys fighting in Sweden. Is this the only entourage you're bringing?
No, we got Pezão fighting Antonio Silva. So we got a big crew again, and we were supposed to have Mark Hunt, who got injured last minute. So we had a big camp here. So we have my kickboxing coach Kowal, my wrestling coach and head coach going to be here tomorrow, Ricardo Laborio and Kami Barzini. So we got a full crew again.
Mark Hunt not being able to fight Stefan Struve. A lot of people looking forward to that fight. How disappointed is he? How badly injured is he? And how good is his ground in that order?
Well, I can't go into his injury because I don't know how much has been released. I don't know how much he's talked about it, so I'm not sure about that. And he was heartbroken. I know that. He was really sad. I know he was hurt pretty badly and still wanted to fight, and people kind of talked him out of it.
Right.
And man, his ground is good. It's not. He's not a black belt in jiu-jitsu or anything, but you can see he's actually not just defensively. He's actually getting offensive with his submission attacks. In fights. So he's getting good, man. He wasn't working on it for years, and now, obviously, he's a great athlete, and now he's putting some time into it, and he's going to be good.
So someone like Mark Hunt, you come from a professional boxing background. You have a few professional boxing fights. You lied to me in the past. Then why are you lying to me, Brad?
Amateur boxing.
Okay, fight boxing background. Mark Hunt with so many fights in K1, and then all of a sudden go, wait, the sport MMA is growing, giving it a try, and then going into something that's when you're an athlete at the top of the game and going into another part of that game where you're a complete beginner. Have you guys been with him since the beginning of the ride?
No. He was in New Zealand training, and he just came to ATT maybe just the start of his UFC career. So before UFC, he wasn't with us. So back in his Pride days, he was training elsewhere.
But from then to now, how far has it come in would you say? You said submission. So if you had to rank him as a belt, for example, in jiu-jitsu, is he a purple belt? Is he
I don't know, man. I'm not a heavyweight. I don't roll with him.
And also, you got to roll with someone to gauge how good they are.
I just see, out of the corner of my eye here and there what he's doing.
And
then I'm watching his fights.
He's in good hands. Obviously, American top team got great is known for great jiu-jitsu. So, and Ricardo Laborio spends a lot of time with him. He's a phenom.
Laborio works with him a lot.
So, he, like I say, if he's got any savvy, he's going to pick up the stuff and he's going to get better. He's a good athlete of what he did before, and if you're that good athlete, you're going to pick up other things. Like, some people who are good athletes could do anything, like go play basketball, and some people are like that. So he's in the right hands. He's going to get better, and obviously he don't need to concentrate so much on his striking. He can spend most of his time working on his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu.
Did you step into the ring or cage with him at all before this fight?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
That's the great thing about being American top team. You don't need to go. It's like a lot of people say, "Oh, why didn't you go with Thiago Silva or even Pitbull?" I won't go with these people because they're not my weight class. I'd never ever physically fight anyone that size, that height. And they won't fight anyone my size because the Pride days are over when you had those weird matches. It's never gonna happen.
You typically try to spar guys, your weight, one class up, one class below.
Yeah.
That's
I know sometimes
most realistic. Same speed and power that you're gonna deal with in your fight.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes if you're in a smaller camp, sometimes it is hard, and you do have to go with other people to get a workout and stuff like that. But that's what
when you got numbers, you can do it. You can
when you have the
good
advantage of being
matchups.
an American top team, it's such a massive camp, and you have so many bodies there. You're always going to find people your size.
So Brad dresses in pink, goes on dating websites, plays computer games. What does Mike Brown do when he's not fighting or on dating websites?
And I just watch Brad play video games and
Mesmerized.
So you do play video games?
No, you know,
Word with friends.
I have a really, I'm weird, man. I got like a really addictive personality, and like whatever I do, I get like consumed with it. Like I'll have my little video game moments, and then I'll be consumed where I'm like that 8 hours a day. I was big on the Fight Night Champions.
Yeah.
Man, I was putting in solid 8 hours, 9
So
hours.
you were going through the training camp as well?
He was ranked #1 in the world.
No,
He had a belt.
no,
didn't you?
I'll tell you. I was ranked 22 in the world.
Really? Online?
Yeah, online. I was on the website and there, the whole nine. I was into it, right? My lightweight, his name was Sammy Jenkins. And I won the title. I won the OWEC Online World Championship. Held it for like an hour. So I was like the world champion at the game. I was like one of the best hours of my life.
No, and I'm not even lying.
I took photos of it. I took pictures of it.
He was more happy to be #2 in 22 in the world in a computer game than he was when he was #1 in the world in real life. In real life,
because I just did it so fast. It's like 1 year it took me to get to that point.
He was so more happy with this.
I was playing so much. So then I got out of that. You know, I just move on to different things. Now I don't do a lot. What do I do?
Word with friends.
I play Words with Friends.
Are you good?
He does.
I'm very,
better
very,
than
very
me. I'm
good.
not even from America. I don't even.
No.
He
I'm
takes
very
it to
good.
the next
I'm
level.
very good.
Not only does he play the game, he keeps every stat of everyone he's ever played.
Every game I've played, I've written down the score.
And how he's won, so he knows his own record, what his record is. Even
Yeah.
though the game never keeps it, but he's
Yeah.
mentally kept
So
it.
you actually got written down.
So he knows.
Yeah, I'm about
he knows
roughly. I
who's-
mean, I have it written down, but I'm roughly like 180 wins
180 wins.
and about 25 losses. But like a lot of the losses, I can tell when because there's a lot of cheats for it. I don't cheat, and
What's the cheats?
they're
People-
cheats.
people-
You can
yeah.
you can put a take a picture of your screen, and it tells you the best place to use your word.
Really?
Yeah, I know people.
So like steroids in mixed martial arts.
Yeah. So and you can just tell when somebody does it. You can tell if somebody's really good or cheating. You can just tell how they're
He
playing.
made up words that no one's ever heard of. Or
And not just
never even
that,
think
because
about.
sometimes you can do that, but it's how they use them and what they're attached to, and you can tell.
So 180 to 25 is your record.
Yeah, roughly.
How many by submission?
Oh, I have that. I write TKO. I count TKOs for people that quit the game and don't finish. So I write on my little book. I wrote 230 to 60. I write the score down, then I write TKO if they didn't finish.
I guess getting the sense that you're somewhat competitive.
Oh yes, very.
Well, you have to
very-
be in
very-
our sport.
Yeah, kind of, right?
So, very much so.
Do you play Scramble?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
see?
'cause that-
no. Listen, when I was in college, we were huge into it. Had a database that we kept all of our records and that. Like, man, top 50 all-time scores for 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. Most tile clearing turns in one game. Most time scoring 30 points or more in one game. Like, we had a huge book.
Does this scare you a little bit?
He takes things to the.
I'm very like. One thing.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not into anything. Right now, I just
He's
kinda-
word with friends. How's he
Oh,
not
you're
into
right, you're right.
anything
Yeah,
at the
I'm into
moment?
that, yeah.
Even when he was doing the boxing game, I'm addicted to games and I play, but he takes.
I would skip
he takes
practice.
No, okay.
No, really?
Yeah, I never did that. Be
Once
fair with
you
me.
did.
When?
Once we were pulling.
Coaches, listen up. Yeah.
Once we were going to practice, me, him, and Zohan, and we're pulling. And I'm like, man, you.
Zohan. Out of the movie?
Sirwan. No,
Oh,
we
I
call
thought-
him the Zohan. and I go, you guys just want to go play a tournament right now? And then we turned around. We were in the parking lot of the gym, and we drove home and set up bracket sheets and made a tournament for Fight Night Champion.
Is this true, Brad?
Okay, it may be true, but as you can see, I was led astray.
It was my idea, but he did it.
But like you say, even in that Fight Night game, like you say, he kept these stats of people he played online.
Right.
If they were good or not. If he got beat by him, so he'd be like,
I write it down.
so
yeah.
like, so he would be looking for a match against Bobby Joe 25. He's like, Bobby Joe. I played this guy. This guy
Look for strength and weaknesses.
Yeah.
this guy beat me twice. Cancel. I ain't gonna fight him yet. I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then and then you pick. He managed.
I managed my fighters
He
very well.
managed himself very well.
Sammy Jenkins was his name.
Sammy Jenkins.
managed himself very well, and
I had
He-
the belt.
he didn't get to the top like this. It was like this, picking the
So
right
you work,
turn.
work,
Yeah.
okay. Good
Yeah.
fights. Pick the fight.
pick-
It
Picking
paid
the right
off
fight.
though. I'll tell you when it paid off. One time we were in London. We went to this web designer's really nice office in London, and we walk in. He's getting his website designed, and it's a nice office, and they have like a big screen TV with Fight Night Champions just on, sitting there, just like of all the games that could be. It was like it's like all the time I worked on that game, there was a reason, and I could be like, who is the best player in this office? Because they obviously play it,
Right.
you know. And then I just cleaned house, you know.
Yeah, you gotta go. 'Cause, yeah, I'm
Did you
I'm
get
the
a
best.
discount on your website after that at least?
No, they put it up, price up. They're upset.
I retired from the game.
So, Mike Brown, after his actual fighting career, because you're a veteran in the sport, can we expect you? Okay, Brad.
But I must give him his pay his dues. He was amazing at that game. But the UFC game, I'm unbeaten.
Really?
Not unbeaten.
Of late, I don't.
Unbeaten
I
means
went
you're
whole
undefeated.
Who's your favorite player?
Yeah, he's good. He's better than I am, but he's not
I
unbeaten.
can play certain characters, who are my style. Like I like playing with. You've got to have a good kind of hands and normal takedowns, not just some weird takedowns, and not spinning moves where you do. Basically, I know this might sound corny. I like my character a lot because it does what I do, and
So you kind of got that down.
yeah, I don't get beat on my character.
I take Mark Hominick, smokes up Brad every time.
No, not anymore. You won't.
Yeah, he
I've
was
got
Brad.
to
Now I
the
would take
next
Mark Hominick, and Mark Hominick kept beating
No.
him up.
Does that make it personal? Like, if you ever see Mark and you guys gonna train, you're like,
No, not at all. But it's him. My character.
His character kills mine.
Really?
My character's not as good as his.
Yeah.
So then I had to switch characters, and I found one that was like could be his.
who's that? I need to know.
But not
Who
anymore.
is
I
that?
told you.
Yeah, but
Who?
no, this-
Oh, it is Hominick.
Yeah,
Oh, it is-
but this is when we only first started learning the game. Now I've taken it to the next level.
Have you been practicing
I went to Sweden.
and played a lot there?
I played a few games there with a guy called Mateus and his friend Kervan, and they would play games all the time, and I didn't get beat the whole night. I was amazing.
Whatever.
Every character, just whatever. I was like Mark Muniz, you name it, anyone.
You beat them all.
Whatever. Just I play.
I'm looking forward to this fight on Saturday because I'm going to look at you in a different light when you fight on Saturday night because I'm going to see that brain working. I'm going to think word with friends. I'm going to think scramble.
Yeah, I'm gonna go write everything down in my stat book after the fight. What happened? You know.
Yeah, but the UFC do keep stats now.
I love this
during
stats,
the
yeah.
fight. Yeah, because now I see
I love
like
statistics.
Yeah. I like statistics as well.
So statistically, how do you think the fight is going to look on Saturday night? If you had to make a prediction,
Man, I don't like to make predictions because they're often wrong. And
Brad,
but
you do for him?
No, he's finishing.
We're just I'm just gonna go out and scrap and fight and hope for the best. And if I do what I can do, then I'll be out of there quick. If not, we'll see. So that's very elusive
Elusive fight.
elusive answer.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good though. Maybe politician after the fighting career.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
146 Saturday night. Mike Brown. Looking forward to see you in there. Find him on Word with Friends as well, and see if you can beat him. Thank you.
Programmet presenteras av Betsay.com.